Ulysses S. Grant, the man turned war hero who helped bring the Union back together both as a general and as a president. Ulysses S. Grant, born Hiram Ulysses Grant, was born on April 27th, 1822, in Point Pleasant, Ohio. Ulysses S. Grant, the eldest child of Jesse Grant, a tanner who was a staunch supporter of the Whig Party. Jesse believed in the abolishment of slavery. Ulysses, as a child, had developed an unusual ability to ride and manage horses, which would become a lifelong love for him. In 1839, unbeknownst to Grant, his father enlisted him to attend the military academy, West Point. While at West Point, Grant's submission form had an incorrect name on it. Instead of Hiram Grant, it said Ulysses S. Grant. This is what Grant would go by for the remainder of his life. Grant's skills with horses while at West Point would grant him the reputation of a proficient horseman. Grant graduated from West Point in 1843. A year later, he would meet his future wife, Julia Dent. The two would marry in 1848 and would have 2 kids. In 1846, Grant would be enlisted to fight in the Mexican-American War, where he would fight under General Zachary Taylor and under General Winfield Scott. Grant fought in the Battle of Palo Alto, the Battle of Rascala de la Puebla, and most famously in the Battle of Mantari, where he would show his equestrian ability by hanging off the side of a horse in sniper-infested fields to deliver some supplies and help wounded. During the war, Grant established his commemorable record and studied the tactics and strategies of General Scott and Taylor. After the war, Grant would develop a drinking addiction and would resign from the army, only to come back in the Civil War. Grant, during the Civil War, showed immense leadership and the ability to take action. This could be seen in the Battle of Shiloh, in which Confederate troops tried to launch a surprise attack on the Union Army. Under Grant's control, after a crucial battle, the Confederates were unable to hold control of the position, resulting in Union victory and opened up weakness in the southwestern Tennessee region. After this, Grant was looked at as a war hero and was appointed to be a general by President Abraham Lincoln. Grant's biggest battle was undoubtedly the Battle of Pittsburgh, in which Grant depleted Confederate General Robert E. Lee's forces, making Lee surrender at Appomattox Courthouse, putting an end to the Civil War. After the war, under the Johnson administration, Grant was appointed General of the Army of the United States. Grant was a huge supporter of Reconstruction and wanted the continuation of the Freedmen Bureau, but Johnson opposed the bill, wishing to bring back strength to the South, and believed the South had a right to have self-rule. Grant did not believe in that. Grant believed people, both black and white, needed protection by the federal government and respect of civil authority. Grant would go on to advocate for black citizenship. Grant and Johnson would go back and forth with each other over Reconstruction policies and the enforcement of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Grant's popularity grew with the Republicans in the Senate, especially the Radical Republican Party. This popularity led to his nomination for the presidency in 1868, which he won, beating the Democrat nominee Horatio Seymour. The Grant administration was one that was infested by corruption. with inside trading and whatnot. But the administration helped pass many civil rights acts and the 15th Amendment, which gave African Americans the right to vote. The Grant administration was filled with liberal reforms and Reconstruction ideas. Grant would leave office in 1877 and would live a life of peace, and would die on July 23, 1885, due to cancer.